Do you want to write a screenplay but not sure where to start? Especially with all the formatting stuff? I am Carl T. Rogers, a story philosopher, a writer, and a director who is here to help you level up your screenwriting skills. So real quick, I'm going to give you the 5 basic elements that you need to get started with writing screenplays and how the formatting all works. All right, I'm in final draft, and this is what a screenplay will look like. But let's start with the first element. First element is going to be this. This is called the slugline, or the scene head. And it consists of 3 parts. It's got to be interior or exterior. All right? Now we could talk about the differences and kind of what if somebody's moving from inside to outside, but we're just talking about basic stuff here. All right? So it's either inside or it's outside, interior or exterior. That's always going to be abbreviated like that. Next, you're going to have your actual location. Is this a yard? Is this in a closet? Well, in this case, this is in a ballroom. So we say interior ballroom. And then, is it day or night? Now, a lot of you might think, well, what if it needs to be dusk, or it needs to be sunrise, or it needs to be afternoon? No. The only reason you would put something other than day or night is if it's actually going to be relevant to the scene and the story that you're telling. If not, it's just day or it's night. Next element, what is this right here? This is your action lines or your scene description, okay? This is going to be written kind of in regular sentences, describing what's happening on screen, what we can see and hear for the most part. And you'll notice that this is not really like a novel where we've got a lot of description going on. Instead, it's just trying to give you the bare bones of what you need to set the scene. Instead of we can hear music and see lights. No, just lights and music blare. It's in third person, present tense. If you want to learn more about how to write visually, if you're a little more on the advanced side and you want to level up with how you write your scene description, then I've got a video for you right up here. The next thing we're going to talk about is your character. If this was the beginning of the screenplay, then the first time you see a character, you're going to put them on all caps and probably put their age. But if this was not the first time that we're seeing Allison, then if we already know who Allison is, then we don't have to do that. When you actually have your character speaking, you're going to put their name in the center like this. It's going to be in caps. It's going to be centered. Your screenplay formatting software will do that for you. That's how you've got the character laid out. So it shows that that character is speaking. Next, you're going to have what they actually say, right? And it's always going to be centered in these margins like this. And this is another reason why I really recommend that you get real screenplay formatting software instead of trying to do something like Word or Google Docs or something. It's just going to be a huge headache, so don't do that. And the reason it's set up this way is so that you can easily read through this. You can kind of skim through it and be like, this person's speaking and they're saying this. And sometimes you're just going to have a lot of dialogue back and forth. If you just got 2 people talking and what they're doing is not really relevant to the story, then it's just going to look like that. It's just going to be a conversation back and forth, and that's all you need to have. The last element that you need to worry about is this one right here, and this is called a Wrylie, or a parenthetical, some people will call it. And you don't want to overuse these. Really, some people I've seen, if they're beginners, will put a lot of emotion words in here, say creepily, but no, that's something that the actors and the director will come up with based on the context and subcontext of the scene. You don't want to put these emotions in here unless it's something that is kind of unclear from the context and subtext what the emotion should be. In that case you could, but for this, I really just want to know, is he shouting? Is he whispering? Is he talking on the phone? Something like that is going to be in Wrylies. And if you want to learn more about how to use Wrylies, then I've got a video for that up in my formatting playlist, which you can watch after this. So those are the main things. You got to have slugline for each scene. You got to have action lines that tell us in third person, present tense, what's happening. You got to have your characters showing when they're speaking. Got to have them saying stuff. And then occasionally, depending on what you need in order to clarify what's happening, you might have a Wrylie in there. Now you've got the 5 basic elements that you need to get started writing in professional screenplay formatting today. But like I said, there is a bonus tip I've got for you, and that is I want you to download this free guide for you. It is a checklist called the Screenplay Format Checklist, and it's got a list of 21 things that you need to make sure you've done in your screenplay before you send it out to a reader or to a producer or something like that. Because you want to make sure that your screenplay gets a fair shake, okay? And if the formatting looks off, then they're going to judge the story before they even read it. So click the link, download the free checklist, and make sure your screenplay formatting is shipshape.